Hi, Andrei from SimpleNet here, and in today's video I'll show you how to install and configure the LiteSpeed Cache plugin. This is a free plugin, but it only works if your hosting provider is using the LiteSpeed web server. We're using LiteSpeed at SimpleNet, so let's dive in and see how it works. To install the LiteSpeed Cache plugin, go to your WordPress dashboard, go to Plugins, Add New Plugin, search for LiteSpeed and install the LiteSpeed Cache. Click Install Now. Now, before we activate it, let's see how the website performs without caching. I have a private window here. This is my demo website. I'm using the Ollie theme and I have added some patterns. Let's right click, inspect element, and go to network, then refresh the page. All right, let's refresh several times. Okay, so it's 29 resources, 800 kilobytes total, 500 kilobytes transferred, loaded in 779 milliseconds. The time to first byte is 141 milliseconds. So these are all the assets, 29 assets. Let's see now what happens after we activate the plugin. Let's go to settings. Now the cache is enabled by default. Let's see what happened. Now let's refresh. Let's refresh again. And time to first byte has dropped to 35 milliseconds. If we click on the document, go to headers and scroll down, we see here LiteSpeed Cache hit. That means the page is loading from the cache. Let's see what other optimizations we can do in the plugin. Besides caching, we have the presets here that we can apply with a single click. In general, we have to request a domain key to use some of the features. Right, so we need to wait for the domain key. Cache is already set. The CDN, we have the Quick Cloud CDN, also the Cloudflare API. For image optimization, we need the domain key to optimize images. Let's go to page optimization. Let's minify and combine the CSS. Let's generate unique CSS. And let's load CSS asynchronously. On. Save changes. Now let's purge. And let's see what happens. Let's refresh. Okay, so the number of assets dropped from 29 to 25, not a lot. Okay. Now the JS, let's minify and combine and also defer. Save changes. These settings have the potential to break things, so you need to test thoroughly. Let's purge again and refresh the page. Okay. HTML, we can minify. The theme doesn't have fonts from Google Fonts, so there's no need to prefetch and pre-connect the URLs for Google Fonts. But if you have fonts from Google, you need to add here the Google URL in the DNS prefetch field and the DNS pre-connect field. You can also load Google Fonts asynchronously or remove them altogether. Right now, I'm just gonna minify the HTML. Let's go to media settings. Let's lazy load images. Add a responsive placeholder. Okay, I'm gonna keep this off. Lazy load iframes, add missing sizes, WordPress image quality control, 82. Okay, let's save changes. Now, let's purge all and let's test again. I'll do a refresh and another refresh. Oh, wait. Let's do another refresh. So the number of assets drops to 18 and the number of kilobytes transferred to 200. As you can see here, the CSS and JS have been minified and combined, except for jQuery. And we have here I think these are the placeholders for the images. Now we need to test the page to see if everything is displayed correctly, because some of these optimization have the potential to break things. Looks good. Okay, this is pretty good. 28 milliseconds time to first byte, 169 milliseconds full page load. I have the browser cache disabled for testing purposes. Most of the visitors will not have this disabled. It will be enabled. So let's test with the browser cache enabled. Let's do a reload. Okay. And now, look, the data transferred has dropped to 23 kilobytes and the time to load is 84 milliseconds. Now, that's because the browser is only downloaded the document, the HTML, which is 23 kilobytes. Yeah, the 23 kilobytes here. The rest of the assets are loaded from memory. It has already downloaded them on the first page load, and now it's using these assets from the local cache. So this is what your regular users, your regular visitors on the website will experience. Of course, there are several optimizations that you can do. You can see the LiteSpeed Cache plugin has a lot of settings, but you don't need to do each one of them. You don't need to complicate things. Just keep it simple and you will see improvements that are good enough. That's it. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments.